Okay, one of the last steps that you're going to have to do in order to complete your uh, travel guide is to come up with some travel tips. So these are going to be the things that the travelers are definitely going to want to know about the country before they travel there. Um, just looking at the example that was provided to you, you should have a pretty good idea about what it is that you need to include. um, you're going to need to make sure that you know the weather when you're going to travel there, depending on which country you're going to. Some of them may be in the tropics, which means that the weather is going to be about the same for the most part all year round. But other countries, for example, Argentina, Chile, places like that, they are going to have a temperate climate similar to ours. So you're going to want to know the temperature so that you'll know what kind of clothes to wear and things like that. So another thing to consider also is places like Chile and Argentina are going to be in the southern hemisphere, so the seasons are going to be the opposite um, compared to us. So, for example, when you're traveling in March, okay, that's the end of winter, beginning of spring for us. um, it's going to be approaching fall for them. So uh, keep those things in mind. Most Latin American countries are in the tropics, so you're going to have not a whole lot of change from one time of the year to the other, but something to consider. So make sure you're finding the weather for your country at the time that you are traveling. So, I mean, just use good searching skills to figure that out. You're going to want to know what currency your country uses, um, and also the exchange rate. So basically, what that means is how much is one US dollar in whatever country it is that you're going to be traveling to, whatever their currency is. So, for example, here it's one US dollar is $2.66 Brazilian real. The language is definitely going to be important. So you should know what language the people of your country speak. You're going to probably want to know how many people in that country speak English as well, so that you can be able to communicate with people, or knowing that you can't communicate with people is pretty important too. So you should probably find out how common English is in that country. Social customs. How do people greet each other? Um, just common social etiquette. How do people interact with each other in these countries? So South America is very European because it was settled by Spanish and Portuguese, and so therefore a lot of their customs are going to be fairly similar to ours, but there will be some things that are acceptable in South America that wouldn't be acceptable here, and then vice versa. Some things that we do may be found to be offensive there. So look for any of those things. Um, Beliefs, definitely something you probably want to know when you go to a country so that you don't offend people. Um, you know, it's going to depend on what country you're in, but most of these places are going to be Catholic. Where can you find this information? First of all, I would just search travel tips and then your country. Um, the things that are probably going to pop up are going to be maybe the State Department website, travel.state.gov, where it'll give you maybe travel warnings if there's bad things happening there. Um, you could get TripAdvisor or maybe a Wiki Travel or something like that. Make sure it's a reliable source, and you should be able to find a lot of this information all together. But you may also want to search specific things as well. Um, then the second part that you're going to need to have is mainly safety and security. Anytime you're traveling abroad, you're going to want to know how to be safe. Um, so don't just assume the same things. that are on here because it's not the same in all countries or cities. So make sure you're looking for ways to stay safe. Some of these places are pretty safe in the touristy areas, and then there's other places that you probably don't want to go. For example, if you're in Rio de Janeiro, there's going to be some very safe parts of town, and then there's also going to be some places that would be highly unadvisable for you to go visit. The favelas in Rio would be an example of that. Some of the countries like Honduras and Nicaragua have some of the highest murder rates of any country in the world. So these are the kind of things that you're going to want to research, because whenever you're going on your trip, you want to make sure that you and your family are safe, and that we're not going to have, muggings, kidnappings, things like that. So do your research, find out how to stay safe and secure while you're on vacation. And it could be just some advice on what to do and what not to do, areas to avoid. That's all stuff that would be important to know. Um, this might be something that you divide it up between you and your partner, or you might have one person do the entire travel tips section. It's up to you. If you have any questions other than this, ask your teacher, and good luck to you. We'll see you.